The last video I'm going to do tonight, and if you haven't seen the other two, I did 11 and 12 in two previous videos, so you should check those out. I'm going to do number 15 now. Also a heavily requested question from the classes today. Really wanted to see this one. So it's asking us to perform the indicated operations and simplify completely. Now remember that multiplication is great, because if we've got multiplication, all we're going to do is multiply our numerators and multiply our denominators. But over here we've got division, so the first thing we're going to do is turn that into multiplication. And you'll remember keep, change, flip. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal instead. So while I'm doing this, I'm also going to factor these. X squared minus 9 is x plus 3 times x minus 3. So we have that over, and the next one we just have to factor. What is it that both of these two terms share? Well, it's an x, so we can pull that x out. The next one is both of these terms in the numerator of our second fraction, they have an x as well, so I can pull that x out. But in this case, I'm actually just going to get 5 minus x in my numerator. Over, and if I double bubble these, I'll get x minus 4 times x plus 3. And now remember, I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is going to be my numerator, and when I double bubble that, I will get x minus 4 and x minus 4. And in my denominator now, I just have x minus 4. Now, at this point, remember that multiplying is just multiplying your numerators, multiplying your denominators. It's almost like I might as well just connect these and have it just be one big fraction, right? If it's multiplication, it's really just one giant numerator over one giant denominator. So I can just start going on a canceling frenzy here. I can take this x and cancel it with this x. I can take this x plus 3, cancel it with that x plus 3. This x minus 4 and this x minus 4 are now gone, and I've also got another x minus 4 and an x minus 4 here. So before I do the next step in canceling, I'm going to rewrite this so that you see what we have left. We've got x minus 3, we've got 5 minus x, and we've got x minus 5. That's all the stuff we have left. Now I want to put that x minus 3 off to the side for a minute and focus on this 5 minus x over x minus 5. That does not equal 1. And we know that because if we just plug in numbers, we won't get the same thing in the numerator as we will have in the denominator. But I'm going to factor that numerator. What's something that numerator, that this 5 has, that this negative x also has? Well, let's pull a negative 1 out of there and see what happens. So we're going to have our x minus 3 still. And when I factor that, I'm going to pull the x minus 1 out. And now I have a negative 5 and a positive x over x minus 5. All right, now I could rearrange that numerator if I wanted to, and I would still have my x plus 3 out here. Now I have negative 1, and I could put that x in the front and the negative 5 on the end over x minus 5. Now I can actually cancel. So 5 minus x over x minus 5 doesn't equal 1, it equals negative 1. So my answer is going to be negative 1 times x minus 3, which is actually negative x plus 3 once I distribute. All right, so take a minute and go through that video step by step. You might want to slow down, rewind a couple times to see how that example works. But these are 3 good examples. I'm glad you guys picked them. So take some time and look through these. You'll have another review sheet tomorrow, so make sure that this one is done and ready to go so that you can just work on that new practice tomorrow. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see most of you tomorrow.